I will use this opportunity to reflect briefly on the Nairobi Declaration, which is the principal output of the successful Africa Climate Summit, which took place a fortnight ago, and its fresh perspective, which frames economic growth and climate action as simultaneous and complementary and not sequential and mutually exclusive strategies. Africa is a young continent with a median age of 19 and the home of the world's youngest and fastest growing workforce of highly skilled and immensely motivated men and women hungry for opportunity. Africa possesses abundant renewable energy potential. Africa holds 2/3 of the world's remaining unutilized arable land. Africa owns 30% of the world's critical mineral reserves, and Africa's natural assets from vast mangrove, peatlands, forests form a significant proportion of the Earth's last remaining lungs and critical habitats for biodiversity. Africa's vast resources and our people's spirit of enterprise constitute a potential that can be activated through investment to unlock African prosperity and clean, green global manufacturing. Our low emission profile is a singular advantage in that unlike other regions, Africa has no need to choose between satisfying new demand and decarbonizing existing capacity because our existing capacity is very low. We can leapfrog straight into a fully green industrial paradigm. Our commitment is categorical. We are ready, prepared, and eager to do our part in full in setting global production and consumption on an ecologically sustainable path. Yet, we cannot and must not do this on our own. The Nairobi Declaration defines concrete roles for the global community as partners in this transformation. Global collective action is urgently required to transform the institutional architecture of international financial systems and mobilize the necessary capital that will forge the golden key of investment. The declaration therefore proposes a pathway towards a global climate financing charter by 2025. The Nairobi Declaration advocates the following specific measures. To begin with, new debt relief instruments and interventions to proactively manage debt default, principally through the extension of tenure of existing sovereign debt and the provision of a 10-year grace period. Additionally, the issuance of new special drawing rights dedicated to climate crisis response of similar magnitude and with similar urgency and resolve as the SDR provision for pandemic response 2 years ago, together with the scaling up of concessional financing by at least $500 billion. Further, the elimination of existing gross and irrational disparities in credit rating and risk analysis before 2025 to address the manifestly unfair situation where low-income countries pay up to 5 times more than their wealthier counterparts. The declaration proceeds to set out viable sources of resources required for effective climate action, which run to the order of trillions of dollars by including a universal tax on fossil fuel trade, emission levies on aviation and maritime transport, and a global financial transaction tax. Finally, the declaration advocates for integrity in the international accounting systems that supports the proper valuation of mineral wealth, natural capital, and ecosystem services in the computation of national GDPs. Finally, neither Africa nor the developing world stands in need of charity, handouts, or harms from the developed countries. What we need is fairness, a fair financial system, fair market access for green assets, products, and services, fair national, regional trade mechanisms which promote fair competition to facilitate efficient deployment of capital in locations offering the highest comparative advantage for global decarbonization. Africa's inaugural climate summit has sent forth a message of hope to humanity that the industrial and socio-economic transformation of Africa and the developing countries is at the same time the surest pathway to effective, rapid implementation of climate action, decisive and affirmative response to the great existential threat of our time. I thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
80% of the emissions.
Esfuerzos para reducir sus emisiones y a los países ricos a que apoyen a las economías de precio asequible para todos, poniendo en marcha planes fiables que eliminen progresivamente el carbón para 2030. La asombrosa cifra de $7 billones en 2022. Y también de aquellos intereses creados que ganan miles, de aquellos intereses creados.
Her Excellency, Ms. Prime Minister, what are SIDS pushing to help close?
Thank you. People inhabiting some of the most. I stand here for the Marshall Islands, where residents. I stand here for the Maldives. States know that their voices are being heard on the world stage is unjust. The synthesis in line with the 1.5 degrees Celsius goal. We must work together on this. There is